Alright, so we're going to start. This is Draconian Magick Part 2, The Daemon and the Flame and the Black Flame by Lord Aesza. Alright, ready? Okay, what makes magic powerful? As magic becomes more mainstream, there's a lot of LARP involved in people's practices. You know, people are just like, LARPing magic. They're not really doing magic for real. They're just pretending to do magic, and they don't have a ground or a basis in their practice, which makes it powerful and makes it potent. At the core of magic, what is it that makes it powerful? Well, each time we're performing an act of magic, something in us changes. A part of ourselves is different, it's greater, and it's more. Each time we're doing an act of magic, something in us changes. That's really what you have to take note of. If you're performing an act of magic and you don't feel changed at the end of it, or you haven't changed at the end of it, it wasn't an act of magic. Okay, it's just a LARP. All right. Like when you do magic, something changes. Otherwise, it's not magic. Now, the culmination of the accumulated change and what we've yet to become. This is the daemon in ourselves. What we are striving to become and what is becoming greater in ourselves. This is what the daemon is. Our God self. What is becoming a god, what is deified, what is being deified in ourselves through our magic. All right. So it's essentially next slide. What is the daemon? The daemon is essentially our overselves, our greater selves, which we're striving to become in each moment as we progress in magic. It's the Luciferian principle of a mind which spans beyond time, that is ever growing and becoming more. So this is like a mind. This is your mind. Say whether or not you believe in past lives, okay? Say every single moment of your life, all of the details are encapsulated in a part of you that is ever striving to become more. Okay? This is the daemon. In Luciferianism, we are assuming immortality. I'll get to you on that. There's scientific evidence beyond that, beyond Luciferianism, which supports this, that the mind is eternal. There is all kinds of evidence, and the black flame is important in this, but we'll get to that later. The daemon is the self which we are yet to be, which pulls our fire, our flame, forward and onward to more. It is the drive in us to become, or Zephyr, or Kepper, the session, Aeon Set Credo, I have become, Zephyr, or Zephyrah, Zephyru. I have become, and through the process of becoming, process of become, or the becoming is, eternal. Is essentially is what it's saying. Okay, so this is this is this. That's this. This is the becoming. This is the thing that is becoming. That is becoming. So you are essentially in time. In time, right now, you are not necessarily your daemon, right? But there's a part of you that is trying to expand, that is trying to become more. Like you wouldn't come to this lecture or listen to this lecture if you weren't trying to expand and become more and learn more, right? So that's your daemon. That's the impulse of your daemon. Okay? So the daemon and the dragon. The dragon and the daemon in a mind are almost indistinguishable. It is the self that is of the dragon, that is the daemon which spurns our black flame to push consciousness forward. This process of shedding skin and rebirth, inherent to the limitless reality which we inhabit. Okay? So this is the dragon. Now, because this is Draconian Magick, I'm mentioning the dragon. Okay? But the daemon is important in all Luciferian work, draconic or not. This process of shedding skin and rebirth, which is what I talked about in the first lecture, as far as the point within this void, which is you, that wants to experience the infinity of reality. And if the reality is infinite, then it must ever expand. It must expand forever. So the dragon is the essential nature of the daemon as it sheds its skin and grows its wings and tail to become greater and greater. Okay? This is the process of self-deification which the daemon spurns. It's the result of necessity for growth and the will to power as described by Nietzsche and championed by many great minds all throughout the world and, great beings throughout the cosmos. So the black flame. What is the black flame? I'm sorry, are there any questions so far? Okay. The black flame, what is it? Well, in mankind's early stages, believe it or not, we were slaves, basically animals suckling on the bosom of the Elohim and slaving for them. Now, if you see the creation mythos of almost any culture, these stories are pretty much the same, concurrent throughout every culture. And there's also a secondary figure which comes in each of these mythos. These are the great gods who created themselves through the primal oceans of the void and came opposing the gods. These the Watchers, the fire bearers, who freed mankind from its idle slavery and bestowed upon them the flame of consciousness, the spark to become divine, the black flame. Now the black flame is the essence of your consciousness, the paradoxical smokeless fire, the connection of your mind to the primordial void. It is the simultaneous observer and creator of your experience in reality. It's your individual lens to reality. Okay? Any questions? Okay. So, this black flame bestowed by the fire bearers like Set, Lucifer, Baphomet, Pan, Azazel is the main source of freedom in the cosmos. It is the spirit in its pure and free expansive essence. So the process of liberating your black flame from these causal and mundane consciousness shackles is an essential and major step in developing spiritual awareness, especially on the left-hand path and in Draconian Magick. If you're in the right-hand path, essentially what you're doing is reconnecting to the Elohim, and you are going to be strengthening their core of consciousness in you and dwindling out your individual flame. Now, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you can. Right, right. That's also important. Yeah. Um, right, right. That's essentially it. In the right-hand path, for the most part, Sephirotic and Kabbalistic work, it is a process of, impinning the Elohim consciousness into your mind as opposed to strengthening and growing your own individual spark of consciousness and becoming a deity in and of yourself. So this is the crux of the left-hand path, this black flame. Now, your black flame is intertwined with your daemon and your own unique essence as an individual. Consider this: in the left-hand path, we are strengthening the ego and the mind and consciousness of our own selves to the point of self-deification, right? So this is your own unique essence as an individual. Now, this is where it gets interesting because the strength of your black flame can determine the power and ability for your magic to cause major changes in your reality. So if you have a powerful black flame, it is much more easy for you to alter your reality from the mundane and from the what is it? From the Sephirotic consciousness and create your own changes in your reality, right? Um, the more Gnostic understanding and awareness you have of metaphysics and consciousness itself, growing in understanding in consciousness and, working with klepothic entities or with goetic entities, these are going to help you empower your black flame and strengthen your potential in magic as a whole. Okay? So that's in essence, you're utilizing your black flame. You're utilizing your consciousness. This force, which is both observing and creating your reality at the same time. You're utilizing this whilst achieving a feat of magic with your will, with the power of your daemon. So you're calling on forces of consciousness to alter your experience, right? So in conclusion, the daemon and the black flame are essential properties of draconian magic. One can utilize these principles in synthesis to grow and expand their consciousness and unique selves simultaneously whilst liberated from the mundane reality. Obliterating one's weaknesses and becoming powerful in creating one's reality is key for the mages. Empowering one's daemon and black flame is key for any left-hand path mages. You're definitely going to need, like, the most powerful left-hand path mages have the most powerful black flames and the most powerful daemons. It's that simple. Like, you're not going to self-deify. You're not going to become a living god like E.A. Coetting and them. You're not going to become a living god without having a powerful daemon and a powerful black flame. It's pretty much that simple. You know, the fire bearers gave it to us for a reason, gave us this divine spark for a reason, and it shouldn't be wasted. And that's my piece. Ho Ophis, ho Archeos, ho Dracon, ho Megas. Okay?